I was married to my ex-husband, Daniel, and we were still living together as husband and wife when he began a relationship with the woman who is now his fiancée, Ashley. I discovered text messages between them before they became physically involved, and Ashley knew he was married and that I was still living in the home. Despite that, the relationship continued. When I eventually moved out, she moved in almost immediately. What made the situation even more painful was that Daniel continued reaching out to me for months afterward, asking me to come back and reconsider our marriage, even while he was living with Ashley. She later admitted she knew he was still contacting me but stayed because she believed they were in love. Over the years, the relationship between them has continued, and they are now engaged. However, there have been ongoing issues that have made it difficult for me to fully move on and find closure. There have been instances where my ex repeatedly monitored my social media, and when I confronted the situation, it was largely ignored. I also experienced ongoing interference in our co-parenting relationship. Ashley frequently inserted herself into communications regarding our children, sometimes even using Daniel's phone to communicate with me. I could often tell it wasn't him because the tone and wording were completely different. What I've noticed is that when Ashley isn't involved, Daniel and I are usually able to communicate reasonably well about our children. When she becomes involved, conflict tends to increase. At the same time, Daniel continues to rely on me for many parenting responsibilities, including school matters, appointments, transportation, and other issues involving the children. Yet he often avoids direct communication and responsibility in other areas. The part one struggle with most isn't just the cheating or the divorce itself. It's the lack of closure and the way the story seems to have been rewritten over time. Ashley entered the relationship knowing Daniel was married, moved in immediately after I left, and remained with him while he was still pursuing me. Yet somehow the reality of how their relationship began is often overlooked. What continues to confuse me is that years later, despite being engaged and supposedly happy together, there still seems to be an unusual focus on me through social media monitoring, comparisons, and interference in co-parenting matters. My question has always been this: if two people are genuinely happy and secure in the relationship they built together, why does there still seem to be so much attention directed toward the person who is left behind? That's the part I've never been able to fully understand.